Good morning, everyone. This is Jen Rogers from Art and Whimsy with Jen, and this morning we are doing our first Art Tip Tuesday, and we're going to work on some snowflakes. Snowflakes are pretty easy. It really depends on what type you want to do, but there's a lot of really fast, easy, fun ways to do them. If you want something super detailed and stuff, what I suggest is doing stencils. You can get stencils on Amazon. You should be able to get them at most of the craft stores. I also use Essential Stencils to get a lot of my stencils, especially for porch leaners and stuff like that. They have a really nice variety of really nice ones, and they ship really quickly. If you do go to Essential Stencils, I do have a coupon code Art with Jen that you can use to get a discount. I think it's 10%. Okay, so I painted this. I like to use when I'm practicing stuff, or if I want to paint something that's going to go into a frame, I can use, this is paper that you can paint on. It's a mixed media pad. I'll show you here. It's 60 sheets of mixed media, and this is an 11 by 14. You can get all different size pads. You can get smaller. It's really nice when you're starting out because you can use this and not have to have a ton of big canvases all around, and you can practice and play around with it. I did get this off Amazon. I'm sure you can get, well, I know you can get the same type of thing at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that. So, okay. So I did paint this. Craft paint is simply fine. You can use whatever paint you want. These are acrylics. You can use artist grade, but you certainly don't have to because artist grade is a lot more expensive. So this is actually a very old one that I had. I did a bright blue. It's an apple barrel paint, and I just wanted to be able to have the snowflakes show up. So then I just have a basic white acrylic paint here. It was just a set that I got off Amazon, Magic Fly, but super simple. I'm just gonna put a little teeny bit of white paint here. Hopefully not too much, probably more than I needed, but I will use it on something else later. All right, so I'm gonna start with the simplest snowflakes to do. And in the painting that we will be doing at the end of the week, So Much Joy, this is the type of snowflake we'll be doing on that. It's basically when you want a lot of snow, like it looks like a snowfall, a big snowfall, this is probably the simplest way to do it. You can do it in any size brush. I'm using a larger brush here. This will give me a little bit bigger snowflakes, but if you want smaller ones, you can definitely use a smaller brush. So let's start with the large ones so you can see the difference. And dot. The nice thing about this is these make really nice round dots. And I always have a paper towel with me so I can wipe stuff off, just so you. Now this one I'm going to do with this small one, and I have a decent amount of paint on there. And you can see the difference in sizes. This is also fun to do if you're doing something that you just want a bunch of little dots. I do a lot of my paintings, I like round and dots and whimsical type stuff, so I do use this a lot. Let me show you the difference though here. If you were to do this, this is a round brush. This is a number 5. Maybe I'll use a smaller one. This one's a number 3. So if I get a little bit of paint on there, drop my brush, and I try and do, I'm trying to get it just on the tip there. I do the dot, and those dots aren't too bad, but, and maybe you can see, oh, I just did, but when I do it, it kind of, they're not as round. So you definitely have more consistency and roundness when you use the end of the brush. So that's why I suggest doing that. Okay, but if you want something a little bigger, we can do, this is another really basic one. It's basically like a cross and an X. So what we're gonna do, make sure you get enough paint on there, you can always go back, is go down and then make a nice cross and a smaller X inside. That one was a little fat, but that's okay. So that's a nice little snowflake there. So again, just a long line. Doesn't have to be perfect. So don't worry if your hand's a little bit shaky. They don't have to be perfect, because no snowflake is going to be the same or perfect. Do our nice cross and then a smaller X in the center. See? Okay, now we're gonna do the third type of snowflake, which is a little bit more detailed, and I'm gonna do it larger just so you can see it a little bit better, but you can definitely do them smaller. You would just wanna make sure you have a small brush. You could do it with a detailed brush. This is, again, a round number 3. You could do a round number 1 or 2 to make it a little bit smaller, but I'm gonna do this a little larger just so everybody can see. So it's gonna be basically the exact same thing as what I did here, but then we're going to detail it a little bit more. And then we're doing our small X. Oops, that one I didn't. That's the best thing about acrylic paint, is it's super forgivable. If you totally mess up, you can just wait for it to dry and paint right over it. All right, so we have that, and I probably didn't need to make, actually what I'll do is make these a little longer, because I probably didn't want to make my tail of this cross down here quite as long for this one. Okay, so then I'm going to get a little more paint, and I'm just doing V's. So V, 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 V. You don't need to do a bunch of them. You could do one more, but then I'm afraid I'm getting too close into it. If it's a bigger one, you could definitely do more, but I wouldn't really suggest doing too many more than like 2, possibly 3 if you have a bigger one. But you see how it's kind of coming together nice and easy. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a V. And if it's not exactly straight, that's totally fine. Typically you're not going to just have one. If you are just doing one that you want to focus on, like a little plaque or something like that, I would definitely suggest doing a stencil, and you can do much more detailed ones with the stencils. V, V. Look at that, isn't that so cute? Nice and easy. One more to do. Probably a little fatter than I wanted there, but that's okay. So there you go. You can see that. Nice and easy. That was like no trouble to do. So if you were doing a painting and you wanted a couple of really big snowflakes around it, you could do that, or do them a little smaller. I would just suggest using a smaller brush if you're doing that. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see everybody on Friday. If you can't watch it Friday night, I will have that video in my page, and you can watch it later and comment and ask questions, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. So have a great day. Bye-bye.